Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan, and no, I didn't get eaten by a bunch of Ewoks. That's just a dirty lie by our other host, who obviously can't be trusted. I mean, anyone with Ben's accent is obviously from one of the core region planets, and we all know that Outer Rim people just can't trust people from the core worlds. They're just out to get you. Anyway, the other day, I read a comment from Jason Abrams, one of our viewers. Well, it wasn't just a comment, actually, it was a full-blown theory. In it, he asks the question, is it possible that C3PO is a spy for Darth Vader and has been for the entire time? Now, we don't really do that many theories on this channel, but I thought this one was really interesting, so I combined Jason's notes with my own research, and here's what we got. I've always seen C3PO as kind of like the Jar Jar Binks of droids. He's always getting in the way, slowing people down, and sometimes he's even accidentally fighting against the good guys.
Die, Jedi gods! What did I say?
I wonder if he was doing all of this intentionally like that Gungan clown was. C3PO also had a knack for always being in the most important places at the most important times. He's actually in every one of the movies. And his buddy R2-D2 is always with him as well. As a matter of fact, George Lucas once revealed that the entire Star Wars saga is being told from R2-D2's point of view. Anyway, let's go into C3PO's background so we can better understand his relationship with Anakin Skywalker. C3PO is a human-cyborg relations protocol droid made by Cybot Galactica, one of two of the largest droid manufacturers in the galaxy, the other being Industrial Automaton, which is famous for its astromech droids. The 3PO series droid was programmed to be completely service-oriented and would never attack anyone, even in self-defense. They weighed around 77.6 kilos and could reach a top speed of 21 kilometers per hour, which is actually around the top speed of a treadmill. Now picture C3PO running on a treadmill at full speed. Not really likely, right? The 3PO series droid had a Trainline 3 communications module, which allowed it to be fluent in over 6 million types of communications, including several secret codes and encrypted languages. According to legends, Anakin and his buddy Kitzer found C3PO after he had been dumped into a pile of scrap. Anakin was thrilled to find all of the droid's main parts intact, but it made him sad to see him lying there all broken and in pieces. Its former owners had stopped caring for him, and he no longer had friends to help him. In a way, the discarded droid reminded Anakin of himself. If he repaired the unit, it could help his mother around the house and maybe even get them off Tatooine. This little story shows how important C3PO is to Anakin. It's one of the few things that he'll remember and cherish when he turns into Darth Vader. Eventually, Anakin wins the Bunta Eve pod race and leaves his mother and C3PO behind. But before he leaves, he makes sure that his mother doesn't sell the protocol droid. Before the Battle of Geonosis, the droid is reunited with his maker, and C3PO would go on to serve Senator Padme throughout the Clone Wars on behalf of Anakin, who was often in direct communications with the droid. The droid was essentially a glorified walking comlink. Whenever anything bad happened, C3PO made sure he called in reinforcements. When Anakin turned to the dark side and Padme dies from a broken heart, C3PO gets transferred to Bail Organa, who immediately gives him a memory wipe because he's just too talkative. Now, this is where things start to get interesting. During the Galactic Civil War, C3PO serves the Empire quite well. During one mission where he and R2-D2 are kidnapped by Lothal rebels, C3PO manages to inform an ISB agent and almost gets an entire rebel cell caught. This is perhaps the first time we see C3PO snitch on the rebels, and it's probably not the last. As the war continued, the droid found himself more and more involved in the rebel cause. During the Battle of Scarif, C3PO is on board Leia Organa's diplomatic ship, the Tantive 4. As it jumps out of the system, somehow Darth Vader's ship, the Devastator, manages to jump right behind them to the planet Tatooine. How is that possible? Now, there are several explanations. It's possible that the Imperials calculated their escape vector and plotted a line to see which systems they potentially could have jumped to. But the margin of error is too great, and it has been said several times in Star Wars that after a ship jumps into hyperspace, it's almost impossible to track it.
My lord, it's impossible to locate the ship. It's out of our range.
Not for a Sith.
So, is it possible then for a Sith to track someone through hyperspace? But if you look at Vader, he doesn't even seem to know Princess Leia is his daughter even when he's torturing her and trespassing into her mind. Now, according to legends, Vader knows about the Tantive 4's location because of this guy. No, not him, but him. I've always wondered who this C3PO lookalike was. His name is U3PO, and he's unaware that he had been reprogrammed by Imperial agents and was sending information to the Empire about the Tantive 4's location. This no longer is canon, but if C3PO can be an unwitting spy for the Empire, then C3PO makes a perfect candidate as a spy for Anakin. Later, when Obi-Wan Kenobi brings Luke to his little hut on Tatooine, he shows Luke Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber. At the same time, C3PO voluntarily shuts down.
Sir, if you'll not be needing me, I'll close down for a while.
Sure, go ahead.
Now, it's been said that this was due to Bail Organa's programming, which didn't allow C3PO access to any of his old memories of Anakin Skywalker. But it also is possible that he's shutting down in order to send some burst communications to Darth Vader. Either way, the timing is suspicious. In the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, an Imperial droid is destroyed on Hoth, but not before sending images of what appeared to be a shield generator back to the command ship of Darth Vader. The command crew dismisses the findings, but Darth Vader, upon seeing this picture, immediately recognizes that this indeed was the Rebel base. How is he so able to identify this as the real location? It's almost as if he's seen the Rebel base before. It's possible this means that he has access to C3PO's visual and audio data, but not necessarily his physical location. But after recognizing the photo from the droid's own images, he finally connected the pieces together. Now, it isn't until C3PO comes to Bespin that he faces his old master once again. According to legends, after getting shot to pieces, stormtroopers bring the droid to Darth Vader for inspection. Upon seeing C3PO, Vader recalls a memory from his childhood, the one we talked about in the beginning of the video. Vader is brought back to reality by an Imperial officer who asks him whether they should scan the droid for valuable information. Vader replies by ordering them just to trash the droid. Chewbacca manages to save C3PO before he's thrown into an incinerator and brings him back to the apartment on Cloud City. The next time we see the droid again, he's being repaired by Chewbacca in his prison cell. Now, why would the Imperials capture Chewbacca and then give him a box of spare droid parts for him to use to escape? It makes no sense. Well, back to Legends again. After seeing Chewbacca go into a frenzy to rescue C3PO, the Imperials realized how important the droid was to the Rebels, so they brought him back to Lord Vader. Once again, the Sith Lord takes the droid's head and holds it in his hands and remembers his childhood. His mother had once told him that the droid was now his responsibility, and unless he was prepared to take care of something, he didn't deserve to have it. The Imperial officer once again asks Darth Vader whether they should destroy the droid or just check its memory banks. To their surprise, Vader demands that the stormtroopers bring the protocol droid back to the Wookiee because he deserves it. Later, when Han Solo is being frozen into carbonite, Chewbacca begins attacking the stormtroopers around him. Jango Fett raises his blaster to shoot the Wookiee, but Darth Vader stops him. Why would he do that? Anakin has killed hundreds of people, including younglings. Why would he all of a sudden begin caring about the welfare of a random Wookiee? Well, it's because Chewbacca has C3PO attached onto his back. If Darth Vader's intentions weren't clear before, they are now. He wants C3PO to survive, and he wants the Wookiee to take care of him. In Return of the Jedi, C3PO is present at the briefing where the Rebel High Command discusses the strategy for attacking the second Death Star. Immediately after the meeting, Emperor Palpatine moves his fleet into hiding, almost as if he knew the Rebels would be attacking at any moment. He has set a perfect trap and has anticipated almost every move the Rebels will make. His timing is spot on, and once again, the perfect culprit to send the Empire information about Rebel activity is C3PO. Now, I'm not saying that the droid was a willing Imperial spy, but his connection to Anakin was very strong, especially after the events of Bespin where Darth Vader reconnected with his old droid. It would have been stupid for the Sith Lord not to have tracked the droid or at least communicate with it in one way or another. And let's not forget, of course, every time C3PO says,
Thank the Maker,
he's thanking Darth Vader. Well, a few episodes ago, I asked you guys what your favorite part of our anti-force user combat technique, also known as K-pop, was. 225 of you said you'd rather die than use our technique. 203 of you were very offensively minded and chose Overwhelm, while 130 of you chose Protection. Anyway, today in our poll, I want to ask you guys what you think about our theory. Just click on the little card in the top right corner and we'll let you know the results in the next few episodes. As usual, thanks for joining us. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech. Wait a second. Is Jason Abrams J.J. Abrams?